Welcome to Inside Iraq. We are talking to Mundir Al-A'zami, Ali Dabbagh, and Phyllis Bennis. Our subject is the relationship between religion and state in the new Iraq. Before the break, Ali Dabbagh, Mundir Al-A'zami was saying this whole structure needs to be torn down, including your vaunted constitution has to be rewritten because simply is based on sectarianism.
I respect that one, but it is not true. You see, I was in the drafting constitution last year. We were 55. Very few numbers. We want to increase the dose of the religious, let me call it in this way. But majority, even they were Islamists, but they are against of having such. We need to make it balanced. I don't think that even the American, which you had mentioned, Paul Bremer, the American willing to touch this thing. I think it is not their job, and they will fail definitely. It is a sensitive issue of the religion. Now, what somebody feels that it is a sectarian, I don't know. I don't know how he looked to the constitution to be sectarian. Sectarian means that it takes a side. This constitution gives everybody to have a freedom, to liberty in the faith, and this is, I think, is one of the best constitution,
and yet,
but
Ali,
of course it needs to be implemented.
What counts in politics is the application, Phyllis, doesn't it? And so far the United States has promoted this ethnic and religious manifestation of the new state, perhaps at the religious of the national and seculars. Is it because the latter group seen as anti-American and anti-occupation?
No, I don't think that's why. I think that emerged later, but I think the reality is that the U.S. imposed a system of occupation that is based on identifying people by religious and sectarian identity. And unfortunately, I agree that Iraqis would not choose this system on their own, but they're not in power in their own country. As long as the U.S. occupation remains, this kind of sectarian divide, I'm afraid, is going to be a reality. It's one of the crucial reasons why we need to end the occupation, bring all the troops home, bring the mercenaries home, close the permanent bases. Then there can be the basis for Iraqis to reclaim their own country and rebuild their own definition of democracy.
Since, Mundir, we are looking for explanations and reasons, is it because the United States, the occupiers, they have found compliant proxy in the religious parties as opposed to the nationalist, secularist, anti-occupation? Is that the reason?
I think this is the reason, and this is quite an important issue for the future. Unless the United States or Europe accept that the Arab nationalism, Iraqi nationalism, is actually going to look after the national interest and the long-term interest of the Iraqi people and its wealth, and that it has to be respected and negotiated with on these terms, on equal terms. Unless they do that, then they are going to undo a lot of civilized and civil society achievement Iraq had. We know now that actually Iraq, before the invasion, even before the invasion, after 13 years of sanctions, still had a very highly developed education system, a highly developed health system, and was managing even then. And now the whole thing is collapsing, not only because of terrorism or so-called sectarian fighting, but because of the total incompetence of people on whom the United States is relying, because it refused to rely on the technocrats. It refused to rely on the secular people. The role, even if you take a law of uprooting the Ba'ath, which is called de-Ba'athification, but in Arabic it is uprooting of people. It was actually intended to uproot the whole of the Arab identity in Iraq. This is how it's seen.
You mentioned one example. Let me run another example to Ali Dabbagh, since politics is actually little things that makes politics. If you take, for instance, the mosque and the Husseiniats and the TV stations that are mushrooming all over Iraq, they are spewing nothing but poisonous hatreds. As a government, you know, you are interested in calming the tension. Why allow it?
See, if you call that Husseiniya as promoting and
why you pick on the Husseiniya? I told you mosque, Husseiniat, and TV stations.
Even those
it seems that you have.
Excuse me. don't يعني give a previous or a pre decision on anything, Jassim. The issue is that there is a reaction. There are sectarian people. There are people killing on a just identity. It is a sectarian violence is there in Iraq. Sectarian feeling is there in Iraq. And it is naturally. There is a reaction. There is a such thing which comes, which is the sectarian. We have a problem. We have to bring all those people together and to let them that what they want. Iraqis what they want. Is it their option to have a sectarian state? Is it the option to have such a problem, such a blood daily? This is the question raised on Iraqis, not raised on agendas of somebody which they feel that this is an American or I don't know, West or East. The issue is now the main and the strategic issue on Iraqi.
And yet,
is
Phyllis,
but Ali, how can you say that when Iraqis so clearly want the American occupation out, and yet the government in Iraq does not ask the U.S. to leave? President Bush has said over and over again, whether he's telling the truth or not, he can be held accountable to his statement that as soon as the Iraqis ask us to leave, we're gone. Until you ask the Americans to leave, you're betraying your people.
Let me reply first the question. Our security forces not qualified now to have such a threat, to combat such a threat. We have a international terrorist coming from different places. Those terrorist groups, they want to destroy the Iraq. We have our forces now is not yet qualified. We are asking the Americans, the international, the coalition to make a proper training, to make arming and manning so that we will be able. We are looking, we are working in order to get the transfer of the control.
All the terrorism and criminal gangs and the warfare within Iraq is now happening under the eyes, under the auspices of the occupation. We also have now, not about Shia and Sunni, we are talking about massacres in the hundreds and thousands in the Najaf area. That's within areas which does not have any, supposedly not have any terrorist cells in it. And so people, the fragmentation of the country is going ahead under the occupation and increasingly under occupation. And we think, most of the Iraqis now think that this is the hidden agenda of some people in the administration to split the country apart.
I need to stop you for just a second and give the final word to Phyllis. Go ahead, Phyllis. 30 seconds.
Only by ending the occupation is there going to be a chance to end the violence. The occupation violence provides a cover, political cover and military cover for those terrorist forces that are killing Iraqis. We've got to end the occupation to give Iraqis a chance to end the violence.
Thank you, Phyllis Bennis. Thank you, Ali Dabbagh. And thank you, Mondher Al-A'zami. To find more information about the program, as well as to send us your comments, please go to aljazeera.net/English. That's all the time we have for this week. Join me next week when we take another look inside Iraq. Goodbye.